All right, welcome back, boys, to a new episode of Da Boys Fantasy Football Podcast only talking about our league. Week 11 recap episode. We are done with Week 11, on to Week 12. First off, a couple things to address and get out of the way. You know, we are battling a sickness over here. I'm almost through it. Thank you for everyone's thoughts and prayers as I was on my deathbed a few days ago. And you may hear me cough and stuff. I'll try to do it off mic. And I've got a little bit of heartburn, coffee action going right now. And also, I've got a noise that you may hear in the podcast quite a bit. From construction that is currently going on in my house. They were supposed to be here between 8 and 12. We have a couple carpet issues upstairs. And, of course, they didn't show up 8 to 12. And he shows up at 3 o'clock. And I'm not going to turn him away because I'll never fucking see the guy again. But I have a podcast to record. So the show goes on. Hopefully it's not too loud in the podcast and we can still put on a good show for you guys. So the excuses are done with. Let's get on with the show. We're going to talk about vibe check, gossip segment, BP's complaining corner, feeling myself, Zach starts of the week, trade talk, and a loser of the week. I didn't get to do matchup previews. Depending on how I'm kind of moving and jiving, I may get into it and talk about a little bit of the matchups. I kind of just slipped my mind and didn't realize it until I'm sitting down now. All right, vibe check, everyone. Thanksgiving week. First off, just start by saying Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And I am extremely thankful for this podcast and not the podcast, this league. You know, this league really is so much fun. There is a lot of fun stuff that constantly happen in this league. Drama, stuff like that always stirs up, but that's just me drumming up content, right? But year in, year out, this league is fun. This is why we are all so addicted to it. I could go on and on about it, but I am thankful for everyone in this league and how hard everyone tries to make this really fun and doing stuff like a podcast to try to make the league even better. I'm continuing to try to take on new things to make this league something bigger than just a regular old fantasy football league. Moving on, a lot of matchups will be decided on Thanksgiving Day. There is a lot of good teams that play on Thanksgiving. The Bills, the Lions, the Cowboys, the Ravens. I don't have the schedule up in front of me, but there are a lot of matchups. And if you're going down your matchups this week, you're going to see a lot of Thursdays, and you will even maybe see a Friday in there if you're a Dolphins, got a Dolphins guy on your roster. Playoffs are only 3 weeks away. That's crazy for the guys that suck like me. That means there's only 3 weeks left where we've got to really fucking tighten up, try to get as much points as we can to either avoid last place, play spoiler, whatever you got to do. And then, you know, playoffs come and those shows are going to be fun too because we get to break down each individual matchup and spend a little bit more time on each game. It truly is anyone's game. And I was thinking about this, because I was thinking wow, who, if I'm going to anoint a new team that has the best team right now, that would be Jared. I think Jared has so many things going good for him right now. And that trade may have really gave him and put him over the top. And we're going to talk about that all later. But every single week, I'm like anointing a new team. Like with Dakota's team, still hasn't changed. It's still a wagon. Donald's team is a absolute machine right now, and he's going to like secure the regular season championship. With another win, I believe he'll clinch it. And it's just wide open, really, for anyone to take. And then you got the other guys like Adam with a super, super deep team. You got Tyler, who is fucking on a tear right now. He had a couple big injuries. We'll see what he does, but I mean, his team's good. Zach's team's still great. Like, it really could come down to a lot of things, and a lot of lucky breaks. As we all know, fantasy is extremely lucky, and this year is going to be no different. It's shaping up to be one of the most electric finishes we've had ever. 4 teams are tied for second at 7-4. So, you know, we've got the Austin, which I didn't even mention. He's 7-4. You've got Dakota. I don't have it in front of me, but there are 4 teams at 7-4. And the playoff cut currently right now is at 6-5. So you do have to currently have a winning record to make the playoffs. In years past, you know, a 7-7 record got into the playoffs and won it all. So it's gonna be amazing playoffs, and I'm truly excited for it. Even as I'm so far down in the rankings, I don't care, because guess what? I only care about the betterment and the success of this league. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna really, really dive in, and I enjoy looking at everyone else's matchups. Some people, once their season's over, maybe Kyle Peeler, where, you know, his shit's done, and I mean, obviously he's fighting for last place still, so I'm not saying he's not gonna care, but he's not really giving a shit how's it going down between Donald and Adam, you know, right now. He's not looking at that matchup. I will be. I definitely will be, and I think a lot of other people in the league will be too. The trade deadline, we're in trade deadline week, so if you need to make trades, now's the time to do them. The 25th, I believe that's Friday, that is trade deadline day. I imagine, and I think it's going to be pretty electric, that last potential last-ditch effort to try to make a better opportunity, better team going into playoffs with it coming so quick. And then it's also spoiler season right now. For the guys that are pretty much eliminated, me, Mr. Peeler, Justin he's not eliminated yet, but if anything, any wins coming from us right now are only going to hurt the people we're playing, and that's beautiful. That is what you want in a good league, and that's what we always have is teams playing to the very end. You're not going to run into any rosters that have people starting on buys. That's what makes this league awesome. I'm going to quit sucking my dick here in a little bit. I promise. So last year we did this, and I wanted to bring this up, get it out early instead of. So last year we came up with a kind of a cool idea to involve the teams that have missed playoffs, and just by having them essentially bet on the teams that are in the playoffs by hitching theirself to them. So we all put in money, whether it be $20 to $50. We can change it to whatever. I'm not really interested in dumping any more money into this league. I'm terrible, right? But if we put in 20 and there's 6 of us, the winner gets the full amount, obviously. And the winner would be, we decide, we hitched ourselves to a team, and if they win the fantasy championship, we also get paid a little bit. So it gives us a little bit of a rooting interest. We almost look at it like, come on, this is like my team now, and we can switch it up however anybody thinks they got a better idea to do this thing. I see it as like, if you're the 7th team out of playoffs, you get first pick to pick any of the 6 teams that are in playoffs. so on and so forth. And being 12th place, you would get last pick to whichever team. So you could pick whichever team's least injured. You can pick which team you just currently think is the best. It doesn't have to be the top seed or anything like that. And then it just gives everybody a little bit of a rooting interest. We did it last year. I thought it was pretty fun. A couple guys liked it, so we'll see if we can run that back. And then last thing I have for Vibe Check is, because I used to have a segment that talked about best game, and I don't anymore, just because it's a little monotonous. But one game I do want to talk about and highlight is Justin and Dakota's game. That game had a lot of implications on it. Justin losing that game be very tough for him to make playoffs. He still mathematically, I don't believe, would have been out. He'll never admit defeat no matter what. But it was a very, very important game for him. Justin pulled off a trade and was able to insert a running back into his lineup in Devin Singletary. I'll pull up the matchup now, but it ended up coming down to 0.6. Got the wrong thing up here. 0.62 was the difference. And honestly, I mean, it was back and forth all game. And we're talking about Monday Night Football when he had Devontae Smith. Justin had Devontae Smith. Dakota had fucking DeAndre Swift. And it came down to, in going into Monday night, there was only like a 3-point difference. Justin was up. And it came down to that last touchdown by Jalen Hurts that won the Eagles the game, that ended up getting Justin and saving his season, quite literally saving his season. Justin was I'm a little perplexed right now, or I'm feeling a little indifferent because he's a Chiefs fan, right? But to me, I know his heart jumped with glee when he scored that touchdown on his team, a regular season game that essentially might not even matter for the Chiefs. It was pretty electric, and I was honestly rooting for it just because I like the chaos. And my carpet guy brought me upstairs, and I had to check to make sure everything went okay. So I don't really know where I'm at right now, but it was an electric matchup. Best fantasy game of the week. It kept Justin's playoffs hopes alive. It also, Dakota now has he's 2 games back from being top seed. I don't know how important top seed really is at Dakota. Obviously, everybody wants to win that little extra prize. But Dakota's team's fine, and he really shouldn't be too beat up about it. All right, gossip segment. The way I'm kind of doing these things, if you haven't caught on by now, I'm just kind of going down by the standings, in order of the standings, saying a little something about each team. Donald makes his claim to his second straight regular season championship. He did it last year. I think he got bounced in the first round. Maybe he didn't. I can't really remember, to be honest with you. But he played a close game against Augie, but he does win 4 straight. He's also the 4th highest scoring team, and he has that 2-game lead over. His team's looking like a wagon, but it is very Cowboys dependent. But those Cowboys just keep fucking scoring a shit ton of points. So, you can say that all you want and say, like, oh, he's not very diversified. All his chips are in one basket. But the Cowboys already had their bye, and they've got a pretty decent schedule that they're going to need to keep scoring points. And in the NFC, they're gonna just keep going to try to be not a Cowboys with a what are you trying to say? With a wild card spot. They can get the number 1 seed still. They need a little bit of help from the Eagles, but if they can pull out some wins, then that's going to keep them going and scoring those points. Jared jumps to 2 in the power rankings. He is 7-4. He won 3 straight. Highest scoring team of the season so far. And now with JT in his lineup, Jared definitely looks fucking loaded. Zach may have handed Jared his 3rd title in this league. Jared has won it twice already. I think he's got potential that he can win another one. If you're worried about this, then fucking somebody beat him. But right now, the way I see it, he unloaded Kenneth Walker, which was probably his sore thumb right on his team. Like if you had to look and point somewhere, like I don't know if that's sustainable. And then DK Metcalf was killing him. And now he dumped those 2 and turned it into Puka and JT. Like that's pretty fucking incredible how he manages to keep doing this year in, year out, making trades and building a roster. And Puka with no Cup in the lineup, that's a stellar trade. And now obviously Kenneth Walker gets hurt. JT is fully taken over that role. Now he has Patty with a cake schedule, Montgomery, JT, Keenan Allen, Amon-Ra, Puka with no Cup. Like fucking yikes. Like that. Like he is going to be fine. Everyone made jokes last week when I anointed Dakota like the fantasy champion, but I opened this podcast by talking about how so many teams can possibly win it. Jared is throwing his name in the ranks of those guys that can do it. Moving on, Dakota gets upset by Justin. We talked about that matchup a little bit. Despite being completely loaded, he still scored a bunch of points, almost just under 130. He's going to be fine. And then kind of been talking about it a little bit. Austin, the collapse is fully on. It's not like, is it starting? The collapse is starting earlier this year than every other year. The collapse has started. Luckily, he's still 7-4. Probably going to get in the playoffs because he probably only needs another win the rest of the year, and he'll get into playoffs. But things are looking very bleak. He obviously just lost to me, but I did score the highest amount of points. No big fucking deal. But this happens every single year to Austin, and this year it's looking like it's going to happen again. And he always wants to point fingers at Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is not the culprit here. Jahmyr Gibbs is your best player at this point. Derrick Henry is a fucking problem. Maybe you should have looked to make some sort of a trade or some sort of moves this year. I didn't even look at it, but I don't think you've been very active on the waiver wire, so I'm calling you out. And this may come off as like harsh and mean or whatever. I don't necessarily care. But he's 7-4, lost 3 straight. He was sitting 7-1 3 weeks ago on this very pod. We did a Feeling Myself segment, and it's just completely been a debacle since then. I don't know who he's got next week, but I'm putting Austin on the must-win category just for fucking pride. Like, just to give yourself something moving in to a potential playoff spot. Tyler, on the other hand, he is on the complete opposite of the spectrum. He has won 5 straight. But I will say he has 2 huge blows. With that Cooper Kupp injury, it's going to be fucking a nightmare trying to figure out what they do with that. As a Rams fan, I truly don't know what they're going to do. He's day-to-day, stuff like that. But, I mean, do you just shut him down? The offense was fucking great without him. They thought entering him back in here. You know, I'm a Cooper Kupp guy, true and true. But I don't see a world where they're just going to force Cooper Kupp to go out there. And I don't think, even when he's been out there, he hasn't been performing very well. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the trade I made earlier this year, as silly as it was, and I was the hardest person about it because obviously Cooper Kupp is that generational talent. And I haven't gotten anything out of Debo, and Debo got wrecked. I've gotten work out of James Cook, and if I did stay pat and I had Cooper Kupp in my lineup this entire time, I would be absolutely miserable and just sulking in the fact that every single week Cooper Kupp in my lineup is scoring 2 to 5 points. Tyler, despite that, has been winning with Cooper Kupp in his lineup. And maybe it's okay that Cooper Kupp is now exiting because he's been doing fine without him performing. So we'll see what happens with Tyler's team. I always kind of pick Tyler's team as a team that isn't deep, and but it's got that core lineup. So he's gonna have to scramble a little bit to get things in there. Like Jaylen Warren, that guy's been good, so he'll be able to plug him in. But he's got to play like the rest of us and really grind it out. Zach pulls off an easy win over a pathetic showing by Braden. He enters the playoff picture. He's the second highest scoring team in the league. Kenneth Walker could be dead, and now he has to start Alexander Madison. Adam loses a close one. I really don't have a whole lot of opinions on Adam's team. His whole roster is kind of just B- players. You could say Eckler is a star. Sure, he is. And, when Justin Herbert is playing real good, yeah, you could say he's a star. But week in, week out, that entire team performs B- all the way. And it lost a close one. It would have beat a lot of other teams in this league and a lot of other matchups. So I'll never just completely say Adam's team is a force to be reckoned with and could be a potential fantasy winner. But I just am not. Nothing gets me going. Nothing gets the blood flow going for me. And he does fall out of the playoff picture this week with that close loss. Braden's team has been declared dead by me at this time, 11:21, 3:17 p.m. There is zero hope going forward for this team. You could say this is a good thing, Braden. You could be watching this right now and say, yes, I needed that. You pegged my team good, and then look what happened. Now I'm saying you're dead. Watch me go off. I say fucking try me, buddy. Go ahead. Challenge me. I might have superpowers. I might be special as far as everything I say, the opposite thing happens. But I'm going to go ahead and say this time is not going to happen, and you're completely fucking dead. The only thing you've got going is you're playing spoiler. I talked a little bit about Justin's team. Justin doesn't rise in the rankings at all, but he does pull out a huge win. After I buried him last week, I declared him pretty much a team like me and Peeler, and he did not like that. I thought I did a pretty good job defending myself, but overall, he grinded it out harder than anybody I've seen do. I consider myself a grinder despite the terrible team that I have, but he absolutely grinded it, brought in Singletary. He made the crazy start, and this was crazy. Ty Chandler, who was going in the day as the backup role. Earlier in the week, Ty Chandler was supposed to be the start. Madison wasn't going to play. Madison declared he was going to play. Vikings, Ty Chandler was just better that day. And even starting that morning game, Deontay Foreman, who has been a stud for him. So there's probably been a bunch of people telling Justin all week long that Deontay Foreman should have been the start there. Why don't you want to start Foreman? Are you showing smoke screens against Dakota? What's going on? And he did it anyways and started Ty Chandler, who was absolutely crucial into this win. Didn't listen to zero outside noise. Justin did his own thing, grinded on a week when both of his running backs were on bye, Ramondre Stevenson and Bijan Robinson, and was able to put together two bums, put him on his roster, and score almost more points than he has all year long. This begs now. Moving forward, I know it was going to say it was a 1 week rental on Singletary and all that kind of stuff, but maybe Bijan and Ramondre. I know you got to admit that those guys are killing you, but maybe just admit that there might be another option here. Maybe make a trade, because Bijan and fucking Ramondre are fucking killing you. I don't know. Maybe the cold's making me like extra mean or something. I'm sorry, guys. And then moving on to the next one down in the league is Mister's team. It truly, truly does stink. It's injury plagued, mixed with bad starts. There's zero hope. It is over for Mister's team. And at this point, he's honestly got to be worried about last place. All it takes is Peeler to win one game to put the pressure on him. Peeler's going to get to 3 wins when he plays me in week 13, because I still don't have a zero clue what to do in week 13. And, you know, Mr. has to grind out a win to stay away from that last place spot. I fucking won, baby. And there is no one who would rather play spoiler than me. That is my only role right now in this league. I scored highest scoring, so that's $50 to me. And my team played well. I'm feeling pretty good, and it's crazy how many trades offers I'm getting for guys that I sent out last week for fucking pennies, and not a single person wanted anything to do with me. But all of a sudden, we score a good week, and now everybody wants like either the same trade, which was pennies, or trades that just make no sense. So it is fun being on the side of the good team right now. I mean, I'm not a good team. I'm still fucking a 3-win team, a 2-win team. And I'm very happy. I'm happy with where we're at. And moving forward, it's a week by week. I'm probably going to sell the farm in order to get the best possible lineup for week 12. And Peeler's honestly been through enough, so I can't bury him too much more. But at this point, he is hoping just to get lucky and get to our week 13 to possibly tie records. And then at that point, it's the points 4 game in week 14. See who can score more points. We'll see what happens. BP's Complaining Corner. For the very first time, I have felt like this segment is not needed. But I'm going to give it to you guys anyways, because I can always find something, right? I'm going to pre-complain about week 13 buys. It doesn't just affect me, it affects the entire league. This is a true buy-pocalypse. I've said it before at other weeks, but this week, week 13 is going to be a motherfucker. We have Ravens, Bills, Bears, Raiders, Vikings, Giants, all on buy. For me, that's Saquon, DJ Moore, Kincaid, and James Cook. All 4 in my lineup. All 4 are my only scorers in my lineup. So I'm fucked. Donald's got Jacobs and Komet out. Not really a big deal. Zach has got Josh, Gabe, and Jacoby Myers. That you could chalk that up for a loss for Zach. But he also has Sam Howell in the mix there, and Sam Howell's been balling, so he should be fine. Austin, he's got Lamar, Addison, Mark Andrews, and he's a team that desperately needs a win. Again, this is 2 weeks from now, so we've got a little bit of time to figure it out. And then Dakota is another big one. Hopefully he doesn't find himself in a need game, because he has Vontae, Diggs, Justin Jefferson, 3 stud wide receivers out, and his kicker. So like I said, that's all I really got to complain about. Right now, I love where my team's at. I have a potential opportunity to really hurt Zach in his lineup in his rankings this week. Me and him play this week, and I want nothing more than to beat Zach. Those are the circle games. Circle games, my brother, Zach, always Augie, and Peeler. Peeler usually, I really want to beat the fuck out of Peeler every time, every year. But this is a big circle game for me, so I'm excited. Feeling myself. Guys, I have a wonderful interview, probably the best one we've ever done. I have a special edition, champ edition, feeling myself. I brought on all the champs: Zach, the head coach, coach of the year, state champion. Dom, swag coach, follower of this league. He gives his thoughts on the podcast. He's funny as fuck. And then Mister just wants to rant and talk about his team. We're all get together, foursome. It was a great conversation. We talk about their state championship ring. I think everyone in this league probably or should really care and give it up for those guys. They spent 2 seasons coaching at Legacy all together, and they went on to win and accomplish an insane goal, more harder than a lot of us have ever really done in our lives. We've all had achievements we've made in our career goals, stuff like that. But this one's up there and it's extremely special. So we talk about that, and then we talk about fantasy football and just everything. So please enjoy. It's about 20 minutes and it's good stuff. All right, everybody. Hey, welcome on. I brought on special edition of Feeling Myself. We got 3 champs in the building. Congratulations, Legacy Longhorns, state champions 2023. They fucking did it. Let's go.
Not easy.
No. Let's go.
Not fucking easy. Let's go. That's
why they brought us here. That's why they brought us here.
That is. And you guys came in last season. Missed playoffs like 2 weeks after starting.
No.
That's an understatement.
We missed the season. That's what we missed. We missed the entire season last year.
It was rough. It was a rough season. And to see how much you guys have actually built that into a real ass program with the swag coach, with just like the uniforms all the way, like front to back. The offense looks 10 times different than last year.
Shout out Zach.
I don't know. Like last year was way different, and you called it, Zach, when we talked about it many times. You were like, we just need all these same guys back. We're young. We just need these guys back, and we're gonna go and win it.
Yeah, I mean, really. You can have as many great coaches as you want, but you got to have fucking players. And we have a lot of good football players.
Yeah, we do.
And we fucking all hate losing, so we worked our fucking ass off, and now we got one of these.
Hey, I didn't know it was here. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Hey, so in that middle spot, is that a team picture that's going to go there?
Yeah, I haven't gotten those yet.
Either that or a picture of my gooch area.
All right.
Whichever one comes in first.
So what was the celebration like? Because that's, I mean, at the high school coach level, like that part's got to be fun. In like hotel room, was there like any going out after? Like what's that like?
I think we planned on going out, but then we just ended up staying in one of the coaches' rooms, and we drank and shot the shit with the kids. It was a little weird being out of town for it, to be honest. I'd have really liked it to be in town, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I noticed that some of the state championship games were in Vegas, and then they shipped like 3 random ass games up to Reno. Is that because fucking school district doesn't like you?
The ones that are being played in Vegas are being played for like participation trophies of the best in the city or something. To play for state, you had to go play somebody from up north, and that's
okay. So those were the only actual state championships that were up there.
Yeah, there's only like 4 actual states, and then the other 4 are like city championships.
Yeah, it's like kind of kissing your sister or something. So
that's
whatever.
gay.
Whatever.
Yeah, state championship's way cooler than a city championship. Are you guys moving up to a different thing next year, or is it stay?
No, we're moving up probably into the league that everybody's pretty good. So I think we're the best team, but obviously I'm going to say that. I'll let these other guys a little bit too.
Yeah, you guys are going to get slapped around a little bit, and you guys are going to work hard and go back and win another one.
No, there's no slapping around in this division. Zach's always been the humble one, and I'm not saying I'm not humble, but shit ain't changed. It's going to be different teams, a little bit more stacked, like in talent and discipline-wise, but we got a load of returners. We're missing. We're going to be missing our boys in the backfield, Thunder and Lightning, and we'll be missing a couple key guys on defense. But other than that, we have a lot of returners next year, and they tasted it. They seen the top of the mountain. They tasted the top of the mountain, so they know that what we tell them works.
Yeah, exactly. Now they're able to fully buy in even more because they know that these guys know what the fuck they're talking about. So
yeah,
that's awesome. I'm fucking happy for you guys.
About Palo Verde. We said it all year. Palo's our comp, and we defeated them. And in my opinion, next year Shadow Ridge is our comp. So
then I say Shadow and Foothill.
Faith.
Oh yeah, Faith too. Yeah, see, there's tough teams out there,
but in the wise words of our head coach, I doubled down and put all my chips in Dominic Oliver's basket, baby. Yeah. We got that guy coming back. We won a state title without him.
And that's crazy.
That's not knocking him, but to be able to see our team perform like they did without having one of the best out there, it speaks volumes on our kids, man.
Honestly, not having them out there calling plays than them playing.
Yeah.
It's hard to fuck. I found out on the wrong night to find that it's hard to out your fucking safety blanket out there.
Yeah, there were a few times, but even then, like that 11, he had a big catch when you needed it. There was 10, I think. Did he drop one or something? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what he does to get activated. He likes dropping one. He likes letting somebody break up a pass, and then he like turns the switch on and does things like win the game or take it off of somebody's head. Yeah,
I thought the game plan was just amazing. You guys ran the fuck out of the ball.
Yeah,
and defense
converted third downs.
Oh man, it was like there was like a 6 minutes. I'm making shit up, but there was a long ass drive.
No, you're not. You're not. Drive.
That scoring drive. That scoring drive started from, I believe, our own 5 or 6 yard line.
16 play, 95 yards.
Yes, and we marched it all the way down, brother.
That's electric.
And one thing that I do love. I was talking to Zach after we won it, and we were talking about why we didn't use our kicker a lot. And he said, because when we went, an extra point was the deciding factor, and we were not going to let that be. So that's why we kept rolling off out there, baby.
Wow. So I take back everything I said.
See?
You actually had that shit in the back of your mind?
No, out loud, just on the opposite side of the field. Wow. I take back everything I said. Makes sense. Good job.
I was not take twice for Legacy High School.
No, I hear you 100%.
And it didn't really come down to it. And Alba made his only kick, but it was raining fucking hard too when we were scoring.
It was.
He blasted that kick too, low key.
Yeah, it was raining cats and dogs out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it cold too?
Yeah, very.
Windy. So I don't know. It sounds weird, but I really don't get cold like that. But
you didn't have a jacket on, so
20 degrees, no wind, I'm perfectly fine. 50 degrees and a little bit of wind, I'm freezing. I'm ice cold. I don't want to be out
wind
there.
Wind chill will get you, buddy.
Yeah.
How the conditions are in Kansas City tonight is how it was up in Reno.
Yeah.
Probably a little rainy here, to be honest.
So, I mean, this seems like a decent transition point. Congratulations. This is the exclusive interview
Thank you.
With the Legacy coaching staff.
We did it for us.
I'm very happy for you guys. Very happy for you. And Dom, that's why you're invited on. Otherwise, why the fuck would we bring you on a fantasy podcast?
Yeah, because that reason, and I'll fuck all you guys up in the pod or the fantasy league that don't agree with me.
Yeah, but you help out a lot, and you do stay involved in our league all along. Like I send you the link after every time I post one of these, and
I watch.
You know what's going on in our league all year long.
I still think it's bullshit that Peeler didn't have to do a punishment. Fuck that.
Hey, I didn't send. I roasted Peeler very, very hard, and I'm gonna
not very hard. He roasted him, but like a friend would.
I don't know. He was very fucking mad about it. I'd
have roasted him like an enemy.
I do agree with that. Dakota didn't do one either.
The what?
I do.
No, I know.
Said that Dakota didn't do it either.
I think
but wasn't Dakota the first one though? Wasn't Dakota the first one?
Second one. He was the second one after I did it, and there was really no ground
when
rules
you
set.
did it, that's my thing. Okay, I'm vying for fucking Dakota here. You did it, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I was going to be there more often. Yeah.
Yeah, but you never
and I'm
said,
just trying to be funny because it's my podcast. Yeah.
Exactly. And you never said Biggest Loser does a challenge from now on. And then
but then Justin started chugging fucking soy sauce and shit.
That's all I'm saying. That's all
he changed everything.
You drinking Worcestershire sauce and milk and ketchup, then
I was like, whoa, this thing's growing into something. I can't stop now.
Yeah. Smoke a cigarette or something easy.
And then Mr. went elbow deep. He went elbow deep into his mouth.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
I don't know if that was supposed to be a punishment or to turn me on, but I had mixed emotions.
Hey, and fun fact, I didn't gag for real. I got down there and I was like, I need to act like I'm gagged.
You could take a dick.
Right to my tummy. I was right in my tummy like, wow, this isn't bad.
Dom, what do you
hard?
Being that all you really know is what we tell you in the group message and what you watch on the podcast, like what do you think of our league this year? Who's going to win it all? Like who sucks other than me?
So I still am riding with Zach. I love Zach's team, but he just told me he just traded Buka and JT, but he still got guys back. But I told Zach, especially when we were like already in it and we won, I said, hey, buddy, fuck fantasy. You're not going to be able to get all of them. No. You're not going to be able to win the division, represent the South of Nevada, and then win a state title.
That's true.
Then go win fantasy and have your daughter in the same. It's not going to happen. So I'm just going to let you. I still am rooting for Zach. I think maybe because that's my guy, and I can't root for Mister because Mister's team is horrible.
But you've had enough W's.
Yeah, there's a complaining corner. Brandon's complaining corner. I can't really get behind that. I love J-Man. You know how I feel about J-Man, but in our group message, I just see so much like, oh. I think the most upside in this.
It's just me and Justin going, all day long. Like, God damn it.
So
throw it to him. Throw it to him.
There is squads out there, though, like how you said, Jared and Donald, but the only thing with them is they're so one-sided that if that team doesn't show up, then they go from 130 to 180 to 27 points.
Dom's pretty much nailing that. I must be doing a much better job than I think because he's
listen to the pod, baby. I listen to this shit. I am a potter. This is my pod.
But it's working for Donald and Jared because both of those offenses are so fucking electric, and they score 30 points a game every game, and they've got all the star players on them.
Is this the complaining corner?
I don't know, but no. I would say,
but you can.
I would try to root for Austin.
My team fucking stinks. Shut up. My team stinks. Okay, I admit it. I give up. I was like, win 4 straight, lost 4 straight. I've lost 5 straight games, 6 maybe. I stink. I quit. I'm actually consider putting my optimal lineup in and deleting the app because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, you probably won't be last place. So.
A chain comes back, hurt second play plays. Kyron Williams coming back. Fuck it. I gave away Justin Jefferson. Brian Robinson decides to be the best fucking running back in football after I give up on him. Maybe it was my coaching. Maybe it was me.
You start Keaton Mitchell over
Joe Burrow died. It's me. I'm the Grim Reaper. I thought it was you. No, it's mistaken. Me. I got to stay humble. I tell my kids to stay humble. And one time I was telling Claudia about how shitty your team was. And then boom, 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 boom. So maybe I'm the main character in this story. I'm the main character.
All right, Zach, now your turn. You won this week after really, really needing it. You scored 130 points.
Deontay Johnson stinks. I tried to take a bomb with Keaton Mitchell. Stinks.
It's Zach's turn. Nobody gives a fuck about your clubhouse.
Hey, you're going to be the fantasy loser, so you better start working on my video tonight or tomorrow.
close.
I think I got some W sauce I could put in my ass.
Peeler probably ruined the punishments anyways. No one's going to ever do it again.
No, I'm going to do it because I'm a loyal fan of the pod.
Thank you. Let's keep it going. League. Thank you for the
I like
pod.
Peeler, though, so nothing bad about Peeler, you sore fucking baby back loser bitch.
That's a fair shot.
Go ahead, Zach. Zach,
go ahead.
Man, I might have fucked up. I traded for Kenny Walker. I love him. But part of why I traded for him was for him not to get hurt.
Yeah.
And so basically I traded for him to get away from JT's bye. I would have won anyways.
Yeah.
Now I don't have JT. And then Cooper Kupp got hurt. So now Puka's going to go crazy. So
God damn, I didn't think about the Puka one. I didn't put that together yet. But I knew the Kenny Walker thing was going to kill you. And now you got to start Tajay Spears the rest of the year, right?
Madison, unfortunately.
Oh, God.
Oh, you want one of my guys? They all stink, but just take a stab. Fuck it.
I'll send something over.
All right. They have them.
And I almost gave you Saquon Barkley for a fucking bag of chips last week.
Yeah, the worst part is I had a much better trade offer probably with Dakota. But Dakota did the smart thing and said, let's just wait on it. And Jared was and I just wanted to make a trade. So I went with Jared. But I could have got DeAndre Swift and maybe Devontae Adams for just not saying he would did say, I'm intrigued. Give me a second. And I fired.
Hey, Dom, what was that saying you told me today?
Which one? If you're not getting better, you're getting worse?
No. The ifs.
Oh, yeah. If my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle.
Yeah, I mean, Zach, you might have looking back, you might have fucked the season up, but you still have
DK
the three dogs.
DK was good, and if
DK was good,
I have a chance.
Gino might be hurt too, or no? No, he came back in that fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and also Seattle just owns the Rams, so we'll I just want to Rams own Seattle.
I was going to say you messed that up. You kind of went different there.
The Rams might still make the playoffs, by the way, guys.
I'd rather have a hurt Kenneth Walker than a Deontay Johnson. Fuck it, put him on the IR too. Rather have him sitting on the IR than Deontay Johnson playing on the football field.
Me too.
Man, and you know what's crazy is that back when that trade happened, when you got Deontay Johnson and I got Pittman, Dakota called me, and I think he broke it down already, but Dakota called me and said I could pick between Deontay and Pittman because you were down for either one.
Yeah.
And
initially it was Pittman.
Picked Pittman.
I almost got Mike Evans.
Oh, man.
It was actually between Mike Evans and Deontay Johnson, but him getting those 14 or 15 targets, that sold me. And then he got like 15 targets the next game, and then 4, and then 4.
Is the game back on?
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll just close with that. So this game is cracking. Is 17-7 Chiefs. Who do you guys got winning the game?
The Chiefs. The Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl.
Hey,
this defense is lit.
I really don't give a fuck, man. We did it. We did what we wanted to do.
Yeah,
fuck football.
Yeah, we did.
Fuck fantasy. Yeah. Go Horns, baby.
All right. Let's go. I'm very happy for you guys. This like a lot of shit went into this. You guys put in a lot of fucking time.
Yeah.
And it's not just a little side hobby. It's not anything like that. You guys busted your ass for this, and you guys got it done.
Yeah, day in and day out, brother. Hard work pays off.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
No,
Zach don't ever take credit, and I told him before the game. I said, motherfucker, you the reason why we're here. And he's like, oh, we're the reason why we're here. He always says that shit. It's Zach. Zach did this. He got all the cows in the herd, brother.
5A Division 3 Coach of the Year, man.
Coach of the Year.
Hell of a 2023 for this guy.
Hell of a 2023.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Enjoy the game.
All right.
Thanks for coming on.
For complaining corner, just call me.
Even myself.
I got more.
Thanks, guys.
Right? Yeah, man.
All right, welcome back. Zach, starts of the week. And then I have a drop for you even. Justin almost made this list. We talked about it, but that I just wanted to mention it here just in case I didn't talk about it up there. But that Ty Chandler over Foreman was a fucking hell of a start by Justin. And it ended up being great, getting in the win. But it would have been definitely on here, being that Foreman just balled the fuck out and scored and all that. But, Foreman ended up getting hurt, so credit to that guy. Braden sacked Calvin Ridley after Calvin Ridley's been butt-fucking him. Zay Jones came back, and little do we know, now we learned that's what Calvin Ridley needs, is he can't be that, not this year in that offense, where he's not that number one guy where he can beat double coverage and stuff. He's still a little guy. Zay Jones came back, and Calvin Ridley was just fucking open all day. Scores 31 points, outscored all three of Braden's receivers. I don't necessarily know who in their right mind would have started Calvin Ridley knowing his history. So it's a caveat, but I have to talk about it in the segment. Calvin Ridley was a bad sit by Braden. He started him. If he started him, he would have gotten a lot closer into beating Zach. I don't know if he would have. Zach pretty much put the wampin on him. Adam started Mostert over Rashad White. Rashad White, and that's just a nature of Adam's team. He's got a lot of tough start-sits every week. He had Pacheco on his bench this week. A lot of guys on his bench would be starting in every other lineup. That's a good problem to have, but you're going to find yourself on this list a lot, and I don't know where I would have said you needed to start Rashad White over, but that's your fucking problem, dude. So many people have reached out for you and traded, and to try to get, you could have gotten Saquon Barkley for like Rashad White or two guys for one. I don't know. I think that's going to be your ultimate downfall in this league, and we'll see. And hopefully I don't eat my words there. Keaton Mitchell over Gus Bus. Gus Bus got 21 points. Keaton Mitchell got 5. It was apparent from the very first snap that was the bad start. And there was a amount of other things that got Mr. the loss, and that was definitely part of it. And then I finally dropped Christian Watson at halftime of the morning games. It felt so good. It was just like, I'm so fucking sick. Red zone came up, and I look at my scores simultaneously, and fucking Christian Watson had 0 catches, and I was just like, I'm fucking done. Which is gonna hurt me, because I dropped him. It's going to definitely fuck me. It's going to be the wrong move, but it felt very, very good. Justin wanted it talked about because he thought it was absolutely insane that I would drop a person without picking anybody up. It made no sense. But, dude, Christian Watson hurt me so bad this year, I'm just done with him. And I want to be done. And I would rather lose with different people on my waiver wire, on my bench. Trade talk. All right. We've got some good ones this week. They went down early in the week, right after the podcast. This one was Wednesday, and Donald traded Adam Thielen to Peeler for DeAndre Hopkins. This was post-video when I completely buried Peeler and for not doing the punishment. Me and Peeler have made up, and we are on to being friends again. We'll see how long it lasts. I hope it lasts a very, very long time. Me and Peeler are enemies in this league and very good friends, but he did trade Donald traded Adam Thielen to him for DeAndre Hopkins. I reached out to Peeler for comment. He said, "Go fuck yourself." Okay? And then Donald, he said, since both of their bye weeks in week 7, D-Hop has been better, and I simply believe in Levis more than Young. I like that take. Thielen is still the better fantasy guy right now, but D-Hop will have a better second half, I think. Thielen will be a solid 15-point guy, but I'm gambling and taking the risk that D-Hop just balls out the rest of the way. And now that the trade is done and the week is played, both guys played well. Thielen did get that 15 points that Donald said. And DeAndre Hopkins did too because he had that big play. He is a big play threat and has way higher potential to go the fuck off, which is probably what Donald's looking for in a roster start right now. He's got the consistency through the rest of his guys, but now he needs that big play guy to bring home a fantasy ship. So I like it. I like it from Donald's side, and that's kind of surprising because Thielen's been a dog. So I originally thought I would be on the Thielen side, but I definitely, after reading Donald's comments, I very much tend to agree with him. And then this is the big trade. We talked about it earlier when we talked about Jared and Zach's team. Jared traded Alexander Mattison, DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker, and Sam Howell, 4 guys, to Zach for Jonathan Taylor and Puka Nacua. Zach's comments were, oh boy, well, I'm currently in stage 2 of the trading cycle. This is when I reached out for comment, which is trader's remorse. So he says, I'll start over. Oh boy, well, I'm currently in stage 2 of this trading cycle, which is trader's remorse. But I will give you my thought process. I'm 5-5 on the outside looking in, and I'm played in Braden in a must-win game, and I had Tajay Spears in my lineup. Jared approached me looking for a deal for JT. Both sides probably gave up a little more than they originally intended, but that's what makes a fair trade. In a perfect world, Kenny Walker stays a top 10 back, and DK has a stretch of games where every year has a stretch of games every year where he goes absolutely crazy, and it just hasn't happened yet. Will it? I don't know. Guess we'll see. I got Sam Howell, who has been balling, and Josh has a bye week coming up. I added Madison to play in my flex, who I know will get steady work and can still put up points in good weeks. Now I gave up 2 studs. There is no doubting that. But Puka scares me with the Stafford injury up in the air. And fuck Carl Wentz. Stafford plays, and he's a fucking dog, and he's going to play the rest of the year. JT will score points every week. I just had to swallow that pill. Ultimately, I could have fucked my chances completely, or I strike some lightning with a couple of these guys and add them to my big 3. And I have a lineup that could ultimately match up with the top teams. Again, this was pre-everything, and we just listened to the Zach interview, and he gave his thoughts there, and I believe he was pretty, I may have fucked up. So we'll see what happens moving forward with Zach's team. Jared's comments on the trade were, my thoughts on this trade are pretty simple. I traded away some bench depth and 2 starters for what I feel are equal or better than the positions I had. I should just point out that Jared sent this to me today. I told him I needed it earlier, and he didn't get it to me. That's bad on Jared. That's okay. He'll be better. Luckily, my matchup this week allowed me to start a waiver wire pickup to fill the spot of JT's bye week and still come out with a W. Reflecting in hindsight, Puka put up the numbers that I expected out of him, and DK only slightly outperformed him. While you hate to see a talented football player get injured, there is always a feeling of relief when a player is not on your team, especially when he was just traded the week prior. Speaking of Kenneth Walker. I don't think K-Dub's injury is very substantial and should be a solid player throughout the end of fantasy season and into playoffs. I am very happy to have JT on my team for the weeks to come, and I think my team has the firepower it needs to continue a heavy push towards playoffs and solidify a decent seed. You guys heard my comments on Jared's team. I think I think that may have put him over the top. So we'll see. Loser of the week. This one is for now the third time lowest scorer of the week. Mr. Griggs scores 67.24 points. If you're keeping track, luckily I am. That is the lowest score of this entire fantasy football season. He did it, boys. He beat me. My week 1 score was 69 something. He did it. That is pathetic by him. He had Joe Burrow get hurt. Boo-hoo. He made a poised start with Keaton Mitchell. A Chain got hurt again. Leading scorer was his kicker. Just an all-out gross performance. He sends me a video. I hope it's funny. I haven't watched it yet, and it will be here in this video. So that's it for this week's episode. Everybody, please enjoy their Thanksgiving. I hope to see as much people as I can when I come into Vegas this weekend. And overall, let's have a good week. Let's have a good week 12. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you, boys.
Well, I'm driving. I'm a state champion now, you know what I mean? Well, since it took so long to give this to Brandon, I'm just going to do my punishment. I couldn't think of anything, so this is the only thing I really think of. I'm going to drink a water bottle faster than you've ever seen. I'm at a four-way stop. All right. Challenge over. Bye.